GOP senators are apparently already doing everything they can to urge Marjorie Greene to see reason for the first time in her life. And please don't run for Senate because you're gonna ruin our chance of holding on to it. So they're trying. I don't think she's gonna listen. And I love her boldness, okay? She sees herself in the Senate. She thinks she's cut out for it. That's utter madness. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect in practice, but I like that she's brave and she's not backing down in the face of statements like these from Senator Kevin Cramer, who says, we need to have the absolute best candidate, and that includes electability. It's very difficult to apply a formula for a very gerrymandered, very conservative congressional district like hers into a statewide election with as much diversity as Georgia has. Great point. Easy to win her district. That's why she did. Harder to win Georgia at large. He adds, that is a swing state that's pretty independent minded. If I was to put my political science hat on and look at all the criteria, she wouldn't be high on all my list of recruits. Look, dude, as a former political scientist, I don't think you have to put the hat on. I think you just have to look at the polling to know that she's not a good choice. But anyway, he had previously criticized her back in 2021 when she was just coming up for endorsing some of the crazier theories floating around in conservative circles, such as claims that 9/11 was an inside job, or that the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas high school attack was a false flag. That's literally a thing that she endorsed. He also flagged her for her Jewish space lasers thing, which I don't want to trigger her by talking about it, but she knows what she posted on Facebook. In any event, it's not just Cramer. Senator Tom Tillis says, I think she'd be a solid primary contender, but the state's a lot like North Carolina. It could be a challenge at the statewide level, which is, I think, downplaying the concern he might be feeling, but he's being diplomatic for once, that's good. Senator John Cornyn of Texas, former two-time chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, chuckled when asked about her running for Senate, saying, I'm sorry that Brian Kemp's not running. Damn, that's cold. Asked whom he could see who he'd like to see as a candidate in the race. He said, I want one that can win. I don't know whether she qualifies or not. Yes, you do. You do know. That's why you already left. You don't get to chuckle and then pretend that you're not sure, that you're agnostic or whatever. We know what you think. And I want to remind everyone, she does win easily re-election because it's a super red district with very low standards. She won in 2024 with 64.4% of the vote. That's a very strong win. However, Trump carried some of those counties with more than 70% or more than 80% of the vote. So when you look at it, 64.4%, that's a dominant win. But she already has a tax, a crazy tax, an ignorance tax, an offensive, whatever you want to call it, of like 6 to 16% that she loses off of Donald Trump, which might remind you, if you've been following our coverage of this, when you compare Brian Kemp versus her running in the same race, it costs the Republican Party about 20 points. So now we have two data points that Marjorie Greene is like 10 to 20 points worse than any other Republican. And that at the end of the day, that might be a bigger cost electorally, putting her up, than you got with like a Carrie Lake or a Herschel Walker or a Dr. Oz or any of them. These candidates who failed might indeed be better bets, safer bets than Marjorie Greene. And so I return to what I said before. Please run for Senate, Congresswoman. I think you'll do great. I think it's gonna be awesome and I look forward to covering it.